Welcome to the B-List, everybody.
Hey, you guys. Welcome back.
We're back again, and we are continuing with our series of A-list actors and their first movies, which also usually happen to be horror movies.
Horror movies, because horror accepts all kinds.
It does, and by the time they spend all their money on shitty effects, then you have to find these unknowns.
But there's something about them though, like they see the diamonds in the rough,
Yes.
like they see like young Paul Rudd or young Leo DiCaprio, and they're like, you know what, I see something in this kid.
I see something in this kid. And today we are talking about the third installment in a group of great movies. Iconic. Actually, I did enjoy them when I was younger because they weren't too bloody or gory or anything like that.
It's kind of like more murdery Gremlins.
Yeah.
That's what I kept thinking.
Yeah. And we are, of course, talking about Critters, and today we're going to talk about
Critters
3. Yes, who starred in this one is another national treasure who tends to date very young women these days. But we are talking, of course, about Leonardo DiCaprio in his first feature film.
Yes. Before The Revenant, before any of the other famous movies he was in.
Titanic.
Before the Titanic.
Yeah, all of those. Growing Pains.
Before Growing Pains. And, of course, this movie, Critters 3, it's got a runtime of about an hour and 26 minutes, and it was released in 1991. So this was, I was watching this, and he's so fresh-faced and little. He was, 17 when he was in 16,
this?
17, and he looks
12.
like an actual child.
Yeah, he looks like a child in this one. And then I was watching this the whole time.
It's crazy, like, he didn't age for the longest time. He had this baby face up until, even past Titanic and Romeo and Juliet and all that, this, like, baby's face. And then now...
I know.
He looks like Jack Nicholson.
He does. He really does. And I was thinking the whole time I was watching it, I was like, this was 91. In 6 years, he will be drawing Kate Winslet like one of his
French girls.
One of his French girls.
And also being Romeo.
Which was just a couple of years after that.
That was a good one.
That was great. I wore my VHS tape of Romeo and Juliet out.
Oh, yes.
So bad.
That year, everyone was into Shakespeare.
Oh, I know, right? And so the director of this was a lady, Christine Peterson.
Okay, lady.
She was also known for Deadly Dreams, Body Chemistry, and Kickboxer 5, The Redemption.
So a lot of like Skinamax movies.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. Of course, this was created by the Chiodo brothers, I believe is how you pronounce it. Story by and produced by Rupert Harvey and Barry Opper. But the screenplay for this particular one was written by David J. Shaw, who also wrote 1994's The Crow with Brandon Lee.
Okay. The Crow was good, though.
Yeah. But you know what? I watched it not too long ago, and it's definitely a 90s movie.
We watched the new one, like the one with Skarsgård. Like, we went and saw it in the theaters.
I haven't seen it yet.
And it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Is it closer to the graphic novel? Or did you ever read that?
The graphic novel, but
my
it
husband
was
had
fine.
it.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's any old story about a guy who dies and
comes back.
Becomes a crow.
No, becomes a crow. Becomes an animal. Come back as a furry. So it had a budget. Critters 3 had a budget of $2 million, but it wasn't released at the theater. It was a direct-to-video release. So it made $13 million in its home video release. So it did all right for as low budget as it was
for a direct-to-video.
Yeah, for a direct-to-video thing. Yeah, it wasn't bad. So there you go. There's the facts. Let's get on it.
Let's get into it.
All right. So we open on a truck and a camper with a happy family driving down the road. Dad, whose name is Clifford apparently, but I'd never heard his name in the movie.
I like to call him the dad who just doesn't give a shit about literally anything.
Anything.
He is the most like you're the only parent now.
Yeah.
And you don't give two shits about those
You
kids.
have not paid much attention to these kids. He's there with his teenage daughter, Annie, and his young son, Johnny, little Johnny.
Johnny
was in Kindergarten Cop.
He was. And Johnny was also played by twins.
Oh.
So there were 2 Johnnies, but you didn't see it. A la Full House, Olsen
Olsen-esque.
sister.
It was very Olsen-esque.
Yeah, very.
back then.
Well, you've got those.
That kid's
child
adorable,
labor.
though.
Yeah, he's adorable.
So
Yeah,
freaking cute.
Oh, of course. He's probably like a 45-year-old man now, but
I think I looked
or
it up. He's
they
like
are.
44.
Is he really?
44, 43. I think I looked him up.
Yeah,
Because
that
I always want to
sounds
look at
about
these
right.
child actors to see, like, do they still have that kind of same face? And not really. He looks like a man.
Yeah,
now.
they
He just looks like
grow
a
into
man.
their face. So they're singing, having their little sing-along, going down the road, and then boom,
Tires blown.
tires blown.
Like, bald as fuck. And I'm not a mechanic. Because he's like, well, let's keep driving till we find somewhere to stop. And there's, like, a rest area.
And there's a sign that says rest area, half a mile.
And I'm like, aren't you not supposed to drive on the rim? Isn't
I
that,
know.
like, super bad
he's
for your
like,
car?
He's like, for half a mile to this rest area.
I did that one time, and my dad screamed at me for like a month. Like,
Yeah.
you're not supposed
You
to
just
do that. You
get
just
over
stop.
as fast as you can.
Yes.
Get out of traffic,
They
and
had
that's
AAA
it.
back then, right? Like, you could call AAA.
I want to say that we had
he
AAA.
changed the fucking tires. Like, he had the stuff.
Yeah.
Just pull over.
Just pull over and do it where you're at. There was no traffic on this little country road that they're on, but
No.
whatever.
I would have stopped. That's just me.
So you find out while he's changing this tire that
Like,
they're
when Annie gets out,
yeah.
did you make any notes about Annie's outfit?
No, I did not. You're the fashionista that pays attention to this stuff. I do not.
Okay, let me spend 90 hours talking about how long her overalls were.
Oh yeah, I
The
did.
overall shorts that she was wearing, they were like Jinkos before Jinkos, but short
Yeah.
version. So
Yeah.
like
She was comfy.
it was giving like Blossom. It was very like
Oh yeah, that
like a
I
striped
can
like
give you that.
oversized t-shirt and like these long ass overalls like past her knees.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't trying to like impress anybody, you could tell.
Right. Well, you find out while he's changing the tire that they're coming back from a vacation and they're kind of a little sad because mom has been dead for 2 years.
Yeah, a little
You don't know
exposition.
really what of or what happened. She's just not there anymore. So there's a little exposition there for you. And so while Dad's fixing the tire, little Johnny goes exploring the meadow like,
Yeah, there's, like,
next
a
to them.
Fieldy
Little
like
field.
like woods type thing.
Yeah. There's like a thicket past the meadow. And so he's exploring and everything. And right before he enters like the wooded thicket area, he is stopped by
Leonardo DiCaprio.
whose character name is Josh. And I'm going to really try hard to remember his character name.
Little Leo.
'Cause I keep
in my
wanting to call
notes
him-
as Little Leo.
That's what I'll keep trying to call him too.
He tells him, don't go any further because there's wild animals and shit.
There's wild animals. Who do you belong to?
Who do you belong to? And the kid goes, who do you belong
Who
to?
do you belong to?
Which is what I would have said.
Which is what I would have said. And Annie, his sister, sees this and she's like, get off my brother. Are you a perv? And Josh is like, chill. He almost went over the edge. And
Yeah.
Johnny's like, whatever. Let's play some Frisbee. So about that time we cut
They're
back.
playing Frisbee, and then this, like, douche in a yellow outfit and the tiniest mustache comes out of his camper with a full, like, drink and with an umbrella in it.
Yeah. Because they're fancy.
And he looks at the dad that's changing the bald flat, and he's like, I feel for you, man. Sometimes life sucks. But not for this guy, because he's got an umbrella in his drink.
Yeah, because he's got his drink.
You can tell he's rich, because he's got an umbrella.
He's got an umbrella. You can't get those at Oriental Trading by the gross for $1.50.
Not in 91, you couldn't.
I'm pretty sure you could because my mom was the master of ordering things out of Oriental
That's true.
Trading.
If there's
so-
one thing about Courtney's mom, she is an excellent hostess.
Yes,
So.
she has all of the fixins and everything.
So Leo throws the Frisbee into the woods. And the
Accidentally.
accidentally. And all the kids in the rest area just go and look down. And he's like, wait, I can get it back. Even though he literally just warned these children about not going down there.
Yeah. But, he's...
I said, what happened to the wild animals and shit? I guess we don't worry about that.
Well, he threw it in there super deep, too. I was like, how far could this Frisbee go? But he's, like, having to get way back in there.
Well, little known fact about Leonardo DiCaprio, he is an excellent Frisbee
Champion
thrower.
froth player.
He's a froth man. But he like slides down and he's like, let's go. And I'm like, again, you literally just told these kids not to go down there.
Right. And so Annie is like, well, Johnny is standing there on the edge and he's kind of hesitant to go down this embankment.
and you see like a
He
POV.
kind of hears something.
He hears something, and you see a POV from
I
something
said,
kind of
we
growly.
hear critter, we don't see critter.
We hear him, we don't see.
Not yet.
And so Annie comes over and is like, let's find another way in there, and pulls him out of the way. And so Josh finds the Frisbee on like a pile of brush.
It's for sure a nest of some kind.
It's a nest of some side. And when he reaches for
I've
it...
seen nests. Like, that's where, like, snakes, like...
Wolverines.
Yes, just, a Wolverine rest stop. You don't know what's in there.
Homeless people, which is kind of what happens.
Kind of what happens. This guy, like, pops out.
Guy pops out. A man
He
literally...
says, no playing here.
Yeah, he pops out of the ground, surprises at him, and yells not to play in there. And then Charlie, his name is Charlie, and I remembered him from the previous movies. And he was like, they could be anywhere, behind us or in the ground.
All they do is eat.
Yeah. You think this is a joke?
You got to watch out.
And they're just like, oh, dude, hold up. We just met you.
And that's when he expositions and tells them, like...
And boy, what an exposition this is, because he's like...
I was having flashbacks of, like, the old movies. Like, yes, I have seen these movies.
Yes. He says, I'm from Grover's Bend. And this is what happened in 1984. And it basically, there's, like, this montage...
Of, like, a spaceship comes.
The spaceship. There's, him saving the day, because I believe he was the hero of...
He's going to be a galactic bounty hunter.
Yeah, he becomes a galactic bounty hunter.
He's a regular schmegular guy, but then he's like, after the first critters, he's like, you know what? I'm going to change careers. As one does.
Yeah, and you know that this is going to be a great movie whenever they have to show you a montage of the previous two movies, because you probably don't remember them.
When the movie's only an hour and 20-something minutes long,
right.
You spend about 5 or 10 minutes just talking about the other movies.
And so basically the rundown is these critters, if you will, are kind of like what I kept describing as real bitchy, bloodthirsty tribbles. They land on Earth where they're pursued.
Like angry popples.
Yeah, angry popples. And they're on Earth, and they're pursued by these shape-shifting bounty hunters from space. And they take the form of, like, if I remember right, it was like popular rock stars that they see on Earth TV, and they take their shape.
I don't remember.
Yeah, something like that. And then they recruited this guy, Charlie, who's kind of a real dumb hick earthling, and he helps hunt them down. And
he had nothing else going on Earth.
Yeah,
so
and then he ends up like going off with them to train to be one of these bounty hunters.
He's like, he knows what he's talking about, even though he is for sure dressed like a crazy person. He's
right.
Like this, like
he looks like an extra in an Ernest movie.
Yes, he looks like Ernest kind of. And then Leo DiCaprio hears all this, and he is a sayer who says nay, because he is like, you don't expect us to believe this horse shit.
Yeah,
and the way Leo says it, it's like you can imagine him as an adult, because it's still the same. Like,
right,
this is horse shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said the same line in like Django Unchained. It's
not Django.
But anyway, so we cut back to one of the POVs of the critter, and it is crawling to the kids in Dad's family camper.
Right, next to the dad changing the tire.
Right next to the dad.
Like the mellow yellow douche guy.
Yeah. And then you still haven't seen a critter yet. You just see his POV get up into the RV or whatever. Anyway, so Charlie is telling little Johnny that he's still seeing these critters, and he gives
him like a little gem.
Gives him a crystal. Yeah, that his alien bounty hunter friends gave him earlier, and it turns bright green if there's critters around.
I'm like, is this kryptonite?
Yeah, that's what I was like.
Critter kryptonite?
This is to fight off Superman. Anyway.
It's like it does double duty. Like
it does
when you have to carry on crystals, you want them to like
Right. And ward off evil and Superman.
Yeah.
So he tells him to watch out for himself and his family, and then the kids all run off. And there were like more kids there that you're never really introduced to.
You never see those kids again. They're just extras.
They're just all extras at the rest stop.
So then, like, the yellow douche turns out to be Leo DiCaprio's stepdad.
His jerk
stepfather, he kept saying.
Who basically threatens to beat him because he ran off.
This guy's an asshole.
He's just, yeah.
He's like, spare the rods. You know, he's going to beat this kid.
Not even his kid, his stepson. So,
and the mom's just kind of like...
Yeah, she's not real happy with it, but she doesn't say much. And then Annie and Johnny go to tell Dad about the weird stranger they met, and Dad's like, I don't care.
Well, and Dad finishes the tire, and then there's just green goo all over everything.
Yeah, he squishes something.
And he's like, shit. But apparently he's not super worried about it, because they just pack up and go.
Yeah, he doesn't investigate, which I think he should, because what is it?
You literally see critter eggs under the...
There's critter eggs right under the tire.
You've been infiltrated, Dad.
So they drive off, and then they pass a sign for Grover's Bend, and they're like, huh, I guess Grover's Bend is real. So anyway, they continue home.
Yes.
This is where we're introduced to Frank, who is just a dollar store like Andrew Dice Clay type.
That is exactly what.
Hey, yo,
I mean,
hey.
when we're talking about fashion, it's a very festive vest. And
very much.
A belt
Very
of
much.
some kind, and pointy shoes, and he's carrying a goldfish.
And he's telling character Mario to hurry up, moving out of his apartment.
He's taking over.
He's taking over this building, and Mario needs to hurry up and get his mattress out, and Mario's taking everything downstairs.
And then, he goes
whatever.
up the elevator, and this tenant says, "You fix the elevator," and he wastes no time in body shaming this woman and says, "Not for you, Rosie. There's a 1-ton load." Fired.
And I mean,
immediately fired.
She's a little bit like
she's a chunky gal,
like Mimi from the Drew Carey Show. If you guys remember that, she's just a robust woman.
She's not like 800 pounds,
no,
though. And even if she was, she's still a human being who deserves an elevator.
Right.
What the fuck?
So
he goes downstairs.
with the
and
fish.
then he shames another lady on a motorcycle.
Marcia.
We learn it's Marcia. She works at the phone company, and he's calling her a man because she's on a motorcycle.
Yeah, he also kind of sexually harasses her too. And
yeah, I said obviously.
Doesn't he spank her ass or something like that?
He says something to her, and when I just don't like Frank.
I don't like Frank.
I'm not gonna miss Frank, and I'm not gonna miss Yellow Mellow Stepdad.
Right, and so, but Marcia's sassy. She doesn't take shit from him.
Oh, absolutely not. She's like a good character.
She's a good character. We like Marcia. But suddenly, our little family in the camper,
the RV comes up, and it can't stop.
Tears around
no
the corner.
No brakes.
Move, no brakes. And they crash into the back of
Mario. Because he's got a case of critter brakes.
Right. He's got critter brakes.
First of all, isn't like something from your car like leaky, gooey? Isn't it like antifreeze or something that's like kind of greenish in color? Like, wouldn't you be like,
antifreeze is like greenish,
wouldn't you be like, there's something leaking from my car? I think
because it's just this green goo.
I don't know what color brake fluid is. Is it a color? I don't know, but I'd be like, there's something wrong with this. There's goo leaking from my car.
Right. And so, anyway, it could have been the brake fluid, but he didn't investigate again.
The
and
critters
so
probably ate his brakes.
He crashes into the back of Mario's truck. Full of moving boxes, but the trucks aren't real. For as hard as he slams into it, there's not that much damage.
I mean, he asked Mario, "Can I do anything?" He's like, "Yeah, it's fine."
Nah, it's fine. They just don't make.
I
him
like
they
Mario. I feel like maybe the movie would have been different if Mario were
in
super,
it more.
You know?
Yeah, and so
the critters immediately run loose into the basement. Of the
right.
They've gotten a free ride, and they're like, "Bam!"
Yeah, Johnny finds like the critter eggshells empty on the ground underneath the truck
and tells no one.
And then Frank, who's in the basement of this building, he sees a broken window where they came in, and then there's green goo all over it.
He's like, "What the hell?" And then he just wipes it clean, and then does nothing about it.
And Dad's walking around picking up eggshells too.
And there's eggshells outside the window.
I don't know how they got there.
If Frank would have just done a little like look-see, he would have seen
there's something weird happening.
And then the movie would have been over. It would have been
right.
We would have saved an hour of my life.
And
here we are.
Yeah. And so Annie catches Marcia inside the building, and she's asking if there's any jobs down at the phone company. That's where you learn that Marcia works for the phone company. And she says she'll see what she can do.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, we meet an elderly couple, Mr. and Mrs. Minges.
I love this woman.
I know.
She's in literally everything. I don't know her name, but she is grandma in everything.
She's so sweet.
I just want to give her a hug.
I know. And she welcomes Annie home and offers her food while they hear about her vacation to the Grand Canyon is where they were. And that's whenever you hear that Dad is going to be leaving the kids to go to Chicago on a train.
You're the only parent.
And so, yeah.
And he tells Annie he wants her to help Mrs. Minges make the beds. Is this an apartment complex or a hotel?
Right.
They're just going door to door in the apartments, just making people's beds?
Hey, you need your bed made?
Is she a professional bed maker? She just goes
yeah.
I gotta call. I gotta go make a bed.
I gotta go make the bed. Oh, the neighbors are home. Hang on.
So turn down service and give them a fucking mint on their pillow.
Frank is still in the basement at this time, and he's got, like, I guess, pet rats that he's been releasing into the building to scare them away, to get them to leave.
Because they're trying to get all the tenants to leave.
They're trying to get all the tenants to leave. And
which seems like is the opposite idea of having an apartment complex, but okay, whatever.
Right. The phone rings, and it's Mr. Briggs. And then we find out Mr. Briggs is
Yellow Douche.
Yellow Douche, Josh's jerk stepdad. And Frank assures Mr. Briggs that the tenants are on their way out, no problem. But Mr. Briggs, he's supposed to be paying Frank to kick out the tenants, but hadn't paid Frank yet. And all while this is happening, there's another POV from a critter watching him just go off on Mr. Briggs. And so when he gets off the phone, he hears him like growling and scurrying around in the vents.
And he goes to the vents and he's like yelling at because he thinks it's the rats.
Yeah.
But it's red eyes.
Yeah, and lots of, several rows of teeth.
Red eyes and lots of teeth. And again, he's just like, meh.
Yeah. So we cut to the kids eating spaghetti dinner while Dad's getting
And she's
packed.
trying to get her dad to make a decision about the future because, we're going to get kicked out of our apartment. What are we going to do?
What are we going to do? And he keeps
says,
brushing her off.
I just want to eat TV and go, or I just want to eat TV.
Same.
I just want to eat dinner and go to bed and watch TV.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with this.
Right.
And I said, oh, she has eldest daughter syndrome. We know it well.
We know it well.
Where you're having to kind of parent your parents. Like, can you please just make a decision about the future? I'm a child and I don't want to be homeless. Can you please do something?
So we see the neighbor, Rosalie, the voluptuous lady who lives in there. She is dropping some laundry down the laundry chute in the hallway.
This is hilarious.
To the basement where dirtbag Frank picks up her bra and he's like, I love my work. Okay.
Like, what a fucking creeper.
You just fat shamed her, but you're going to pleasure yourself in her bra or something, I guess.
Good for you.
Good for you.
I'm glad you're going to die soon.
Right. And so he starts to rifle through the rest of her dirty clothes, but then he hears the critter again.
Because the critter's like, that's gross.
Like, this guy's got to go.
This guy's got to go.
So he hears the critter and he reaches into a dryer and pulls out a hot shoe.
It's a hot shoe and he blames the kids. He's like, damn kids.
There's a hot shoe.
And he reaches for... but then there's a critter in the laundry detergent area
on the shelf,
jumps out and bites him, and he reaches for a knife in his fancy belt.
Yeah, he stabs it.
There's green blood everywhere, but it attaches to his stomach. It is kind of eating his.
Well,
guts.
there's a second one that disembowels him.
Because they just roll and just
they just roll and attack. And so while he's getting eaten from the stomach, the other one rolls up and finishes the job.
Yeah.
So
and I said, so that's a wrap on Frank, and I don't care.
And I really don't care. But meanwhile, Dad and Annie are reminiscing about the good times.
Well, and she's like, remember how much fun we used to have? Because she's looking at all the pictures that are on the wall.
Yeah.
Look at how much fun we used to have. What was I like? And I'm like, you don't remember what you were like 2 years ago?
Yeah. And
what
he
kind
was
of
like,
trauma was this that your mom died? I'm like,
yeah.
well, I need to know more.
And then he's like, you were shorter.
You were shorter.
Oh, come on.
He
She is
doesn't
trying
care.
to connect. She's trying to connect with you.
Anything to connect to her dad, and he's just like, bah.
You know what? I have a feeling he's checked out since Mom's been gone. Is what I kept getting from this character.
Or maybe
Not
he's
a lot
always
of
been
depth.
checked out,
or
and
maybe
Mom took her own life, and she's like, I'm out of here.
I'm out. And so
she's desperately trying to spend time with him, but her dad is just messing with the TV, and it does it blow a fuse or the batteries or something? Something sparks.
Something sparks. The TV goes out.
And he's like, go out and get batteries. So she goes to her TV and grabs her handheld TV.
Her portable TV.
Which I don't know if you noticed this. I paused it. Was covered in New Kids on the Block stickers.
Yeah, I did see that.
And she huffs off because she's mad.
Yeah, she was
deserves to be mad.
She was like, hey, why don't we play a game as a
Let's
family before you
together.
go
Let's
on your
do
trip?
something. And he's like,
man, I want to watch TV instead. So she stomps off. He gives her some money to give to Mrs. Minges, who's going to be watching the kids while he's gone.
Yeah.
So she goes to give her the money, and she's super mad and kind of stomping around the hallway. But Miss Rosalie is out in the hall and is like, did you hear some screaming?
And they talk about Frank for a minute.
Yeah, and he's like, it's just probably Frank. And then she leaves. So Rosalie's still shoving her clothes down the chute when she hears something in the chute.
And we hear a critter, and he tries to
up the chute.
Up the chute, but she just shuts the door.
She shuts the door. There's some very ill-timed, very ill-timed comic relief in this thing that's I guess that was kind of funny, but she bonks him on the head and he falls back down the chute.
And then the phone rings and the critter answers it.
Yeah, and it's Mr. Briggs again.
And he's yelling. And he's like,
yelling.
Frank, is that you?
He's assuming it's Frank, and he threatens to fire Frank and says he's coming to take care of things himself.
And he's in the car with Game Boy toting Leonardo DiCaprio in the
Yep,
passenger
there's
seat.
Joshy again.
And he's telling, like, Josh, like, you know, this is going to be yours someday. Like, you need to learn how to handle
Yeah.
these people.
You got to come on this business errand with me. And Josh
He's
is
like,
like,
can't you just drop me off?
just drop me off at home first. And he's like, no, you've got to learn the family business of
You're learn how to
kicking
be a
people
douchebag.
kicking people out of their homes.
Douchebaggery is hard to learn.
Yeah. And so now we cut back down to Annie and little Johnny are hanging with the Minges couple. And the old man is telling them, hey, that Grover's Bend place that
And
you
he's, like,
mentioned
showing them
earlier.
articles and stuff.
Yeah, he was like, some stuff went down there. And he says some stuff went down there in 1986. But earlier, Charlie says it all happened in 1984. So I don't know what the timeline was, but he says that it happened in 1986 and then happened again in 1988. And some space aliens killed a bunch of people, including a sheriff.
Johnny points out in the pictures and says, that's him. That's the
him.
guy that, like, we talked to earlier.
That's the guy we talked to
and
earlier.
his little green gem starts to glow
green, bright green, just like Charlie said it would.
And then meanwhile, absentee dad is just fast asleep.
Yeah, Annie goes to check on Dad. He's falling asleep watching this portable TV in his lap. So Rosalie finally gets down to the basement
and of course she's eating a fucking donut.
I know, because, you know, fat is funny, I guess.
Because us fat people, we're just
that's
walking
all we
around,
do.
We just got to eat donuts the live long day.
Yeah, that's all. And I really wish I had a donut right now, though.
That donut looked so dry, though.
Yeah,
it didn't look good.
And so she's in her little cute bunny slippers, and she's
got her hair on rollers, and she's calling for Frank. And the laundry room is a mess. Like, it's so
it has been trashed.
Pissed.
Yeah.
And she picks up her laundry, and there's blood on it.
Well, there's green goo on her bra, and she's like, she blames it on Frank and the rats first, but then she sees blood.
Yeah.
So she knows something is wrong. And that's when a critter pops out of the dryer again and shoots like this porcupine dart.
Like little thorns.
Yeah. And it shoots it at her bunny slipper, but misses her feet, and it pins the slipper to the ground. So she starts running and leaves the slipper behind. And she also drops her bleach, I guess
and
it was.
Gets on one of the critters. He's like,
yeah, he's all smoky and dissolving or something like that.
As anyone would be. If you
but we never
bleach.
revisit that.
No.
So
wouldn't you just get a bunch of bleach and pour it on them?
Yeah, I would think
like
a little super soaker with some bleach. Done. But
I mean,
whatever.
Most cleaning products have bleach in them, so it seems like it would be an easy fix. But whatever.
Whatever.
So
I didn't write it.
Annie hears them, and she comes down the stairs, and she's like beating the critters with a broom.
Yeah.
And she kind of sees Frank's like dead body in the background.
Right. Because she runs from the critters, and they're all rolling and chasing her and everything, and she gets caught in a clothesline. Why do you have a clothesline in a dark basement? I don't know. That's never gonna dry. But whatever. And
because it's the city.
Because this is the city, and you have a dryer
is it a big
right
city
there.
or is it a small city?
I don't know. We never
like,
leave this apartment building, and so that's whenever Annie comes in, she saves her, and then gets her free.
She beats this thing against the wall with like a mop, and it's kind of funny.
And it's kind of funny. She is just.
But she helps Rosie up the stairs.
Yeah.
And douche stepdad pulls up with little Leo.
Yeah, and he explains to Josh that he's gonna build a mini mall where the apartment is.
So we got to get these people to leave on their own because otherwise we have to pay for like rehoming fees.
The court apparently had ordered him to pay relocations.
Rehoming fees like it's a fucking dog. Not rehoming fees.
Relocation fees. But he says I don't have to pay them if they move on their own accord.
Yeah, so he's trying to make it as miserable as possible so they'll leave.
And this just makes Josh like sick. You can tell.
Yeah,
he doesn't like this.
He's like,
this guy's a real
one
jerk.
thing we know about Leo is he's all about the environment and he's all about, and this is not good.
Yes. And Annie and Rosalie, meanwhile, run up to their apartment where they
finally wake up Dad, like little dad, absentee dad who doesn't give a shit, wakes up and they tell him what happened. And Rosie faints because these thorns,
I guess they're venomous.
They make you sleepy.
I don't
think they kill you, but they make you sleepy.
Yeah, they don't kill you, but they make you drowsy and kind of confused.
And they're like telling her what happened, and Rosie backs her up, but like Dad does not believe her.
Dad, well, they're kind of like all over the place anyway, and so she's saying it may be aliens, and
he's like, it's probably rats.
It's just
rats.
Then
like, there's a huge bite on this lady's leg.
Yeah, he's like, whoa, a rat did that.
That's not like any rat I ever seen.
But then one shows up about that time and starts darting everything. Dad gets hit by a dart.
Yes.
And then they get Rosalie to go up the stairs, and Annie bowls over them with one of those giant
ashtrays.
We don't ever see those anymore.
They used to have them in the mall, children.
They used to have them everywhere. And so
and it flies down the stairs kind of like comedically. That's kind of funny.
Right. And so Mr. Briggs and Josh now are in the basement. And
he cuts the phone line.
He cuts the phone after trash talking all the tenants, calling them animals and that they're full of fleas. And then he cuts the phone lines. And
then he cuts the electricity.
Little Johnny with Mr. Minji's, his crystal starts glowing again. And Mr. Minji's is like, hey, by the way, what did that crazy guy mean by watch yourself when that thing starts glowing or whatever?
Yeah.
And so Mr. Briggs then cuts off the power, leaving the entire building. It's nighttime, so it's like pitch black darkness.
So then upstairs we see that Marcia, the smart one,
she's got a flare.
Has a flare. Where'd she get a flare? She works for the phone company.
I don't know. Maybe you have to go in the sewers to fix the Ninja Turtles phone sometime. I'm assuming these are in the same universe.
Is there a crossover movie somewhere? Anyways, so she helps out the dad and Annie and Rosalie up the stairs to the Minji's because they're like, let's all get together.
And both Dad and Rosalie are like getting drowsy and fuzzy. Yeah.
So he went from being completely useless to being more useless.
So Mr. Briggs, they're going through the building with Josh and with a flashlight, and they come across some critters watching Annie's battery powered TV.
Yeah, they hear the TV.
And it's
Cooking with Julia Childs.
Yeah.
On the TV.
She's deboning a chicken. And not knowing
Julia Childs. She talks like this.
Yes.
That's very fancy.
She is a fancy lady.
Yeah. Anyway.
But not knowing that the critters were in the room, Josh tells his stepdad that I hate you and wish you were dead, and then locks his dad.
Well, and he
in
also
the room.
calls Leo a crybaby.
Yeah.
And that's when he says, I hate you, I wish you were dead. And the critters are here to make that happen for him. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and so Josh hears stepdad screaming.
And he suddenly can't get the door open.
And he can't get the door open because I guess it locked. And Marcia comes to the rescue again, and she just like kind of jimmies the lock with a knife.
Like barely, and it just goes right open. I think
then it
Leo,
pops
in
open.
a panicked state, he forgot how to work a doorknob. I
Maybe.
think that's what happened.
It's possible.
But anyway, we see that douchey stepdad has been eaten by critters.
Yeah.
He's just lousy with critters.
And Marcia is just like, I'm sorry, kid, your dad's dead.
Sorry, kid, your dad's dead. And he's like, stepfather.
And
he's not my real dad. He never will be.
We're just not that
So
upset.
she just closes the door, and then they run to meet the others.
Yeah. She drags Josh and tells him that the animals were in there eating your dad.
They're interrupted though by a critter in
and
the
then
laundry
a critter
chute
pops
that
up, yeah.
and then she shoves the flare in his mouth.
She shoves the flare in his mouth.
And you see it kind of like
it lights up and you see its ribs and everything.
You see its little ribs. It's kind of cute.
It's kind of cute. And so like but
that's
at that
where
time
they use their budget. They're like, how do we make this happen?
Yeah.
I have an idea. This is going to be so cute.
This is going to work. And so like 5 or 6 more of them roll up, and then they're like they run, and the burning critter falls down the laundry chute onto a pile of dried, dirty clothes.
Which catches fire.
Which eventually catches fire, but it takes a while to get there.
Takes a while. Anyways, Annie is super surprised to see Josh there.
Yeah.
But she's like, what are you doing here?
What are you... Oh, hey, like, Josh.
Hey.
Oh.
Hey, Leo.
And Rosalie...
I'm under 25, so, like, I'm in your dating age.
I'm in your dating age, right? And so, Annie's dad and Rosalie are getting sicker in the apartment, and Josh and Marcia are like, let's barricade the door.
And they use a piano.
And that
rolls real easy.
Yeah.
Seems like it's not going to keep anyone.
I had a
anything.
piano growing up, and that thing was like half a ton, and it took 6
if it was
grown
that
men.
easy for them to push it, I feel like the critters are not going to have a problem.
Right. It took 6 grown men to push that piano around that we used to have.
Right.
So I don't know. So the critters are suddenly at the barricaded door, and they're getting in. And even Josh is like, dude, I saw where they came. They chewed through the door. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, Mr. Minji's is Captain Obvious, and he's like, it's not rats, it's aliens.
It's aliens. And so, and he also says they shoot poison darts.
And Dad and Rosalie fall asleep.
And they fall asleep. And so...
and the critters are like ramming the door, even though we know they can just eat right through it.
They can eat through it, but maybe they can... They're going to bolt through
Again,
it.
maybe they're in a panic and they forgot.
They forgot. They're just so hungry.
They're hungry, and all they've had is dirty laundry.
And they ask, Annie and Marcia ask Mr. Minji's, do you have a gun or a knife? And he's like, well, I've got this old Civil War musket or something.
No, but then Mrs. Minji's is like, will this work?
I got
it's like a giant meat
cleaver.
Holy shit.
And so Annie's trying to find more weapons and a place to hide when they find like a attic crawl space storage place. And Josh says, hey, can we get to the roof? And Mr. Minges is like, well, you can get to the elevator shaft.
Yeah, you got to turn right there and you go to the
You
elevator
gotta
shaft.
just go to the elevator shaft. So they go and get Dad and Rosalie to go up the ladder, but they're all drowsy and taking their sweet ass time.
And then also it cuts to the critters, which are kind of like all huddled together and making their own plan.
They're making like a little huddle.
They're making their own plan.
They're all hands in.
Hands in. Ready? Critters. And 1, 2, 3, critters.
And so they all go up the ladder so slow.
How these old people climbed up that ladder is beyond.
Yeah, faster than Dad and Rosalie, that's for sure.
How is Rosalie, a bigger woman, climbing up that tiny...
I know. And she's drugged, so...
That is a weight-bearing ladder. Anyways.
I need to look that brand up.
Yes, let me get one of those. So now there's a fire, and everyone's in the attic.
Yeah, and Marsha's like, if we can get to the roof through the crawl space, then I can tie into the phone lines, because I work for the phone company. I can do anything.
But everything's on fire.
But, well, they don't know it's on fire just yet.
If you cut into the phone lines, don't you need a phone for that?
She doesn't have any equipment with her, but she's
gonna come and do what?
She's gonna do it.
They didn't bring there was no like, the phones that are, what is it? The phones that are not connected to the wall.
The phone's wireless phone?
Wireless phone. Like they didn't have like a cordless phone.
Yeah.
So like what good is that gonna do, Marcia?
I don't know. Maybe she's got like a corded phone in her butt. I don't know.
I don't know. She is a phone. She transforms a transformer situation.
So they finally get everybody in the crawl space just in the nick of time, and they fight the little fur balls off. And they close the door, and the critters stay behind at the apartment.
They have infiltrated the apartment, and they are causing havoc. This is basically a scene from Gremlins.
Right.
Because one of them is drinking dish soap.
And the other ones are eating a pot of beans.
And it's just, they're being crazy. They've completely lost the mission. They're just like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
We're going to eat all the tiny pies. And
they have even like, she's just made these little tarts, and they're having like a little tiny pie fight. And I was like, oh. A little tiny pie fight. Whatever fills the time.
Very cute.
It was cute. I was not scared.
Anyways, in the attic, they can't get out, and we see the
roof
Marsha
door
is lost, and Annie asks Josh what he's doing there, and he confessed that like his douchey stepdad brought him there to.
He's trying to evict you guys,
and she just randomly says, "My mom died."
Yeah, she's like, I know your dad died. It's okay. My mom died too. And okay, so
I said it's not about you, Annie. God,
we can talk about this later.
Stop flirting. You're just trying to get away from critter aliens.
Yeah, and he's like, just like, I just can't believe he's dead now.
But secretly he's like,
Thank God. I haven't seen you that upset yet.
So downstairs, the critter is, one of them is full of dish soap. And
he's burping bubbles and beans.
And he farts.
They're farting.
And it's kind of cute.
Again, some more ill-timed comedic relief, but whatever fills the space.
In the basement, everything is on fire.
Yeah, the basement's on fire. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, when they met Charlie in the woods, he supposedly dropped a big bullet.
Yeah, this bullet, and they're like, oh, what's inside there? I don't know.
And there's like wires inside. It's like a big 50 caliber bullet, and when they open it, there's wires inside. So, and then he keeps it in his pocket. Well, this is the perfect time to bring it out and go, I'm still wondering what this bullet does.
Yeah.
And so they can't figure it out. And so the critters are still eating and pie fighting and whatever. And the fire is growing in the basement. And back in the crawl space, they're like, well, I guess we'll have to take the elevator shaft because the roof door is broken and we can't get out.
Meanwhile, we see Marsha walking across like phone lines,
she finds a vent in the side of the building. So she's like, I'm going to crawl across the phone cables and patch in from here.
But she falls.
And so, she one of the cables don't hold her weight,
but it does wrap around her shoe in a way where she cannot
get out. She falls to the ground.
You think it's going to be a wrap on her, but it's not. She falls like this close to the cement.
Almost hits the cement.
By a phone booth, though.
Luckily,
she's trying to, like George of the Jungle, swing herself
over to the phone booth. So that's kind of a lucky break.
But I said, and do what? Do you have change in your pocket? Because remember, phone booths, you had to have money.
But I think that you could call the operator to call the police in an emergency. It's like even a dead cell phone that's not connected to anything will still call 911.
Oh, yeah.
So I think a payphone, you could call the operator and say,
regardless, she's upside down and she can't reach it.
But she can't reach it. She's just swinging short of it. So she's down there doing that for a long time anyway. So
And in the elevator
Annie,
shaft, we see Annie crawl down.
She starts to go down the elevator shaft, and
now her dad decides to tell her, don't go. It's
don't
too
go
dangerous.
down there.
Let someone else do it. But like he's not offering.
Yeah, but he's
'Cause
drugged.
The dad
He's
is
also
useless.
He's so sleepy and useless. So
as one is.
So she doesn't listen. She gets down most of the way, but falls halfway because a rat
sees a
spooks
rat.
her. And then she's
You're
like,
spooked by rats, girl? I'd be excited to see a rat after
Like-
you see, like, people eating alien critters.
like you and me, rat. We're going to dinner after this.
Yes, let's hang out
So,
later.
but she's okay. She lands on the helicopter. No, it's an elevator. She lands on an elevator.
And then she sees, like, the whole fucking building is
and
just
then the
lousy
whole-
with fire and critters.
Smoke and critters. Kind of like.
And the critter, like, sings for a minute. He's like, "Wee!"
He screams and calls the other critters to come roll to him. And it's like the worst little scream.
Call or what. He's just like, "Wee!" which goes on too long.
It goes on a long time. And she's covering her ears and like glasses are breaking and all that
And then he
stuff.
stops, and now all the critters just shooting thorns at her.
Yeah, they're just shooting the little porcupine things, and she's deflecting them because she picks up like a sign, the out of order sign, and she's
Which I'm
deflecting
pretty sure is
them.
made of cardboard.
Yeah, but okay.
All right.
And so things can't get worse, but guess who shows up right at that moment?
Blasts right through the door.
Blast through the door. It's Crazy Charlie.
Crazy Charlie.
With like, I thought it was a flamethrower at first, but no, it's like a gun. It's
That's
a big
his gun. But it also has like a can on it. It's like a
homemade.
It's built
something
of
or other.
mishmash.
Yeah. And so it's something that
so
he's
of course
built.
it's jammed and it's not
But
working.
he gets one round off and blows up one, but then he can't get any more.
Yeah.
And so they go into the elevator to protect themselves.
And
then
she
they go,
pushes an elevator button and the elevator goes up. And I'm like, how?
Well, no, he kicks it. They're going up to the top to go back up the shaft. And as he's pulling himself up, he kicks the panel and it shoots the elevator up real fast for some reason.
How?
There's no power in the building.
There's no power.
It wouldn't.
And it's covered in fire.
And it's covered in fire.
And it was already out of order.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Right. So anyway, they get to the top real fast. Plot hole. That's okay. This whole movie is full of plot holes. I'll forgive this one too.
But it stops and they get off safely. So fine.
Right. And so
and Rosalie thinks
Rosalie
Kooky Charlie is a hunk. She is about that.
She is into that.
She's like, who is this man?
Who is this guy?
Who is this gorgeous man?
Is this your friend? Let me introduce myself.
Yes.
And so, anyway, Marsha, we see her still trying to swing to the phone.
Like, girl, can you not reach down and just untie your shoe?
Like, you can't just, like, you look like a very capable woman. You can't just slip, because it's just kind of looped around her foot. It's not, like, tied or anything. Anyway. But she's panicking, I guess. And so Annie, up in the crawl space still, is trying to unjam Charlie's gun for him.
Yes.
And Charlie hears
Why
the critters.
is she doing this? She doesn't know how this gun works.
She didn't make this thing, but okay. Charlie hears the critters coming up the elevator shaft, and they're blowing bubbles because, remember, they drank a bunch of dish
so they're
soap.
just farting bubbles.
So they're
everywhere.
farting and burping bubbles, and
Okay.
it's all magical.
Fine.
So they pop in like they like to do, and everyone's scared and screaming. And one goes after Mr. Minges, and he catches the critter in a quilt.
Yeah.
While Josh like clobbers it with a flashlight.
And Mrs. Minges cuts one in half with the meat cleaver.
It's a good thing that she had it. She was
and
right.
Bubbles come out.
Bubbles come
because
out.
That's how bodies work.
That's how bodies work. And so, so you think that, Josh clobbered the other one to death because it's still and it's gooey and it's green and whatever. Annie finally unjams the gun and sticks the electric bullet that they had found earlier into it, and then tosses the gun to Charlie, and he's able to blow up another critter.
And it goes off like fireworks.
It goes off like a display, yes.
It's like 4th of July.
Yes.
And then they climb to the roof. And
Marsha finally gets to the phone and is able to call the police, and the survivors get to the roof, and they're all yelling, fire!
And he's yelling,
fire.
like, fire, help us. And you don't see anybody. There's no one in the streets. There's nobody there.
There's nobody there. But Johnny's crystal starts glowing green again. So that means that there's still a critter alive. And it's the one that Josh was beating with the flashlight. It's not dead. So now Josh also, when they ran onto the roof, he got darted
by the darts. So he's sleepy.
So little Josh is starting to get sleepy, and He can hardly move, and Johnny's looking over the side of the building at Marcia, still swinging around, and Annie tells Johnny to get away from the edge, and
like,
that's...
This dad is just worthless.
Yeah, this dad is not doing anything for his kids. One thing. And so that's whenever the
critters
showed at him and makes a beeline toward Johnny, but Charlie dives.
He jumps in front of him
and grabs the critter, and he flies off the edge of the building holding the critter. But in the meantime, he also knocks Johnny backwards off
falls,
the building.
And Annie's holding on to him
and he gets him just in the nick of time. Luckily, it was in slow-mo, so she had time to get to him.
She did have time to get there.
And Annie grabs him, and she's holding his hand, and he's dangling, and he's slipping, and she's trying to pull, but she's losing her grip.
And then suddenly the dad chooses to be a dad. And dipshit, useless dad pulls him up.
There's Dad.
He wants to be the hero at the end of the movie.
He's okay now. But they hear Charlie yelling for help because he just jumped off the side of the building.
Flagpole.
And he's stuck on a flagpole. And very convenient. And it's breaking away from the wall and everything. And it breaks. And he falls into the camper, which is also conveniently right below him. And he survives that, too. And
at this time, we're hearing sirens from the fire department.
Like here comes the police, here comes the fire department.
And we see Marcia. She's still just hanging upside down.
She's hanging upside down, tells Charlie when he gets out of the little camper, she's like, I hope you get me down easier than that.
Yeah.
And then that's when the police show up and everything. And so, and that critter that he caught and went off the building with was conveniently impaled by a TV antenna in the fall somewhere. Maybe in the camper, maybe not. Also very, very lucky.
Also, Charlie's really lucky it wasn't him.
Right.
That was impaled.
Just a lot of... He's good at he's a bounty hunter.
He is. He's good at falling.
Yes, exactly. So
he's good at surviving movies.
He's good at it. And I wonder if he comes back for Critters 4, which is a thing. So...
We're not covering that.
Anyway, the fire is put out. It's the next morning. They're talking to reporters. Annie and Josh make plans to have a normal
Annie asks
date.
how he is, and Josh asks her out. I'm like, really, Josh? Your stepdad was just eaten by aliens, and you're asking for a date.
Yeah, but...
Because one thing we know about Leonardo DiCaprio is that dude's going to score.
He's going to score.
Every time.
Every time. So Charlie goes to leave, and little Johnny's like, no, don't go. And Charlie's like, you don't need it anymore. You don't need me anymore. Later,
and they ask the dad if he's going to leave still because he's got to get on that train
for work.
Chicago. And he's like, I think this is a sign not to go.
Yeah, he's like, I'm quitting the railroad. So you know that apparently he works for the railroad at this point.
And he's going to work at the phone company.
He says, I guess I'll start working for the phone company here in town.
Marcia's like, oh yeah, I can get you a job.
Yeah, I can get you a job. You guys are asking a lot from me today. So Josh's mom.
And also, isn't that going to be like a huge pay cut? Because railroad employees get paid a lot.
I don't know.
One thing that always happens is the railroad. If you're working for the phone line company, I have bad news. Cell phones.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not very stable for a while.
Maybe now he works at T-Mobile.
Yeah, hopefully. And so now Josh's mom shows up. Josh's mom, where I don't know where she was for the movie.
Where did she think her husband and son were all night long?
All night long.
I would be very suspicious of my husband, who is not the father of my child, keeping my child out all night.
Right. And so Josh's mom is like...
She's like, well, my husband's dead, but he owes you guys money, so...
Yeah, she's like, hey, Josh just told me in the 5 minutes that I've been here what you did for him. And my dead husband has some money he was supposed to give you to relocate.
Which is soup's nice of her, because she totally could have fucking kept that money.
She could have kept it.
She could have been like, I don't know.
But then she says, you can have it to stay at a hotel while me and Josh rebuild your home.
And Josh is like, now I have to rebuild an apartment.
Now I have to rebuild. This is getting worse for me.
Mom, I have a date.
Yeah. And Charlie, he didn't leave after all. He's doing like a sweep of the basement.
Yeah, we thought he was gone, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's there.
He's still doing a sweep, doing his last checks, He's checking out the basement, and he finds some critter eggs in a dryer.
And what they do is annoying to me because, like, he's looking in the basement, and then they'll stop and have some credits. And then it's, like, looking again, and it stops, and then there's some credits.
There's credits. This was all happening under the credits, but then they would pause it, freeze frame it, and then show you some credits. And then
Which
it would
sucks, because then you think the movie's over, and then it's not.
And then it's not. It just keeps going. And so he finds these eggs in the dryer, and he's going to destroy them, but then an alarm goes off on his belt.
Yeah.
And it's like the intergalactic bounty hunter, whatever. And they tell him that he's in violation. And then his little rock star shape-shifting bounty hunter friend from the earlier movies.
Yeah.
He shows up in like this little hologram thing, and he's like, okay, you're in violation because those 2 eggs are the last 2 eggs of their species, and we're not allowed to eradicate an entire species.
But why not? Because they're useless.
Because they're useless. So this coalition is sending a pod, like a rescue pod for these.
And you know what? This is how you get a Critters 4. Because, like, you didn't kill them.
Yeah, this is how you get Critters 4. You left some alive. And so they said that they're sending a pod to collect the last samples or whatever of the species. And he's to put the eggs in the pod, and the pod's going to be gone. And so a species collection pod is what they called it.
Yeah.
And so you hear rumbling, the pod crashes into the basement, and then we're given the classic "to be continued." So
the reason I have issue with the ending is because, like, if you're in the theater and you see Charlie and then it cuts to credits, people are going to get up and go home.
it didn't go to theaters though.
Oh, that's true.
This was a direct-to-video.
Well, then you're not finishing
So
it. You're
you
just going to put it back in the case.
You just went to
it.
go take a piss, and now you're missing the last part of the movie.
And it's like you see credits, and so you're like, okay, you eject it,
Yeah.
and you put it back in, and
Yeah.
you return
It's
it.
not like this is a Marvel movie where you know there's going to be an
you got to
end scene.
stay for. But now I'm wondering, like, are there other like end scenes that I missed in the other Critters movies? Like, should I go and watch them to see if there's any like after credit scenes?
I don't know. You know, I didn't. As a kid, I really liked the first Critters a lot.
I don't ever remember watching them on purpose. I remember watching them like they'd be on like UPN at like 2
Yeah,
in the
on
morning.
the UHF channels at
Yeah.
night. Yeah, that's where I always saw it too. And
I never rented them.
Yeah, me neither. But I had seen it quite a few times.
I 1000% recognized Charlie. I knew exactly who he was.
Yeah.
And what he was
Oh
from.
yeah. And I know that Scott Grimes was
In the first
in
one.
the first, and I think the second one too.
Yeah, I had a
And
little crushy crush on him.
I did too.
He's such a cutie.
Yeah, he was like my first redheaded crush.
was
And
my
then I have
only
stuck with
redheaded
the
crush.
redheads since then. So it's all due to Scott Grimes. So
Take that, Scott Grimes. You could
Yeah.
be sitting in this chair
It
right
could
now,
be
but
you.
you're not, bro.
I got a little trivia about this.
Let's hear it.
It's not much because, again, this was a direct-to-video release and there's not a lot about it. But interesting enough, Billy Zane played in the first Critters movie, and both Billy Zane and Leonardo DiCaprio would go on to star in Titanic.
It's like a Critters reunion.
Yeah, Critters reunion right there on the ocean.
On the ocean.
Also, I'd already mentioned this, but
Rose turns into a critter. And she's like, she starts drinking soap and farting bubbles.
biting through the door that she's
Shooting thorns.
biting through the door
It's
she's
just a
floating
critter.
on.
Draw me like one of your French girls.
Now, I'd already mentioned that little Johnny was played by twins Christopher and Joseph Cousins, who were the most
They
adorable.
weren't cousins. They were brothers.
They were brothers,
They
cousin
were brother
brothers,
cousins.
brother cousins, and so. But this is the most interesting fact that I thought, because it doesn't make sense. But Cary Elwes, the actor who we loved in The Princess Bride,
Saw.
he passed on the role of Josh. And he mentioned this himself. Cary Elwes mentioned this himself on the commentary for the uncut edition of Saw. And he mentioned that he had passed on the role of Josh, but that doesn't make any sense to me because Cary Elwes had already been on The Princess Bride by the time Critters 3 was made.
He's not lowering his fucking...
Right, and he would have been 28 years old in the role of a teenager. I don't know if he would have
good.
I don't know if he would have passed for a 17-year-old or whatever.
Well, obviously
Leo,
he wouldn't have his Princess Bride mustache.
Right, that's
would
true.
take that off.
But Leonardo was 17 when he made it, which was much more appropriate for the role.
But he looked 10, so...
He looked 10. It fit. But I just...
When he was all like, hey, baby, I'm like, how old is this kid?
I
Like, he
know.
looks like a child. He looks like he should be playing with little what's-his-face,
I
little
know.
Johnny.
I know. So, at any rate, there we go.
That's Critters 3.
That's Critters 3 in our series, the second in our series of A-listers in bad movies. And so we'll have another one for you here soon. And we got to decide on that. But I've got a whole list of things that I found on Tubi. So
We got a whole list coming for you.
whole list of A-listers in bad roles. So everybody, take care. I hope everybody's having an excellent summer.
Drink your water.
Drink your water.
And
I guess we'll see you next time.
we'll see you next time. So, bye.
Love ya.